Hello everyone, back to today's second video. Going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days. For today's second video, day 10, will take us around the 23rd of October. We'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. We're into around a couple of weeks. Have a look at Set Best V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Hadn't updated yesterday, so we had to show you an old run, but it has updated today, and I'll bring you the latest CFS V2 4-weekly update at the end of the video. Just say that the ECWF 30-day look ahead has been released, so that's looking at weather next 4 weeks across the UK and the rest of Europe as well. So have a look at that when you have done with this. We're going to show you weeks 5 and 6. Mean thermal pressure, temperature and rainfall anomalies from that ECM update in tomorrow's live stream, which will take us into the second half of November. That'll be coming up from 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. Right, we're going to begin in the tropical Atlantic though. So we've got one disturbance area at the moment. It's this yellow X just here. That is disturbance 1 with a 20% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours and a 20% chance in the next 5 days. It doesn't look like this is going to develop into too much at all, so I think we move on from that very, very quickly. We are going to a slightly quieter phase within the tropical Atlantic, Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico in terms of tropical storm activity. This week is going to be a slightly quieter week, but things might start getting going again over there next week. Coming back to home, these are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles the next couple of weeks. We've got Great Malvern today. So the red line is 30-year upper air temperature average for Great Malvern. For the next week at least, we're going to be below average temperatures coming out to cooler than average for the next week. And yeah, really quite chilly from now through to the end of the weekend. Next week, it looks like we've got a warming trend. We've been talking about this a lot over the past week or two, this push of milder winds coming up for the third week of October. Dates on the bottom of the chart, of course. So from around, say, the 20th to around the 23rd, 24th, does look as though we have got milder weather on the way. Winds turning into the south-southeast, drawing up some milder air. And yeah, we might have our mildest sort of phase of month actually coming up through the early and middle part of next week. Going to the last week of October, that's this period just here, it looks as though have a lot of scatter. Also, temperature probably starts to fall back a little bit through the last week of October. But again, there is a lot of scatter in there. These are the warmer ensemble members up here. These are the cooler ensemble members down there. So the final week of October is still up the grabs. But the third week of October does look as though there will be a warming trend for a while. Rainfall wise, as it's quite cool, it will also be dry in the next week or so as well. So plenty of dry weather to come. A few showery bursts around, but plenty of dry weather to come through the rest of this week and into the weekend. However, you can see that it looks like turning much wetter as we go through into next week. So although temperatures lifting up next week, also the price to pay for that is going to be much more in way of rainfall. It looks like it'll turn very wet actually at times through the course of next week. So mild and wet looks like it's the trend through to next week. Milder, but also a lot wetter. Temperature anomalies on the 13th to 21st of October are going to be generally a little bit cooler than average once again. These will probably start trending milder in the next few days. Precipitation anomalies from the 13th to 21st of October are going to be drier than average. These will probably start trending wetter in the next few days. So expect the colour scheme on this to flip around. These precipitation charts are going to go blue, and the temperature charts, which are currently blue, are going to go red, I think, as it becomes wilder, but also turns wetter as well. This is the latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net, showing that winds are in from the east today. So we've got low pressure sitting in the southern North Sea through here. That's thermal wind into this east to northeasterly. The origins of the air actually come from quite a long way north down western side of Europe. So that's the reason it's cool at the moment. We'll be staying cool, for the next few days at least into the weekend. Going to stay pretty chilly with winds generally from a north to easterly type direction. This is how the UK Met is looking for Friday. So high pressure is sitting to the north of the country on Friday and bringing in an easterly wind across the country. So it's going to be mainly dry, but we'll be plenty of sunshine around, more particularly in the west. So a little bit more wave cloud further eastwards. But quite a bit of sunshine around as we come to the end of the week. But with winds in from an east to northeast direction, albeit they are light winds, but the air coming around the high pressure is coming in from the east to northeast, so it is bound to be cool. And of course, with clear skies at night, there could be some really quite cold nights at the end of this week. Chance of some frost, particularly so in the north. That's Saturday. Again, high pressure is in control. Winds are in from the east, so it can be mostly dry, but it will be chilly on Saturday. Sunday, the ridge is still just about clinging on by its fingertips, but low pressure developing down to our southwest. Still mostly dry and quite cold on Sunday. Let's go through to Monday, which as far as we go with UK Met, we start to bring this low pressure in from off the Atlantic. Winds turn southerly then. They'll start to draw up some milder air from the south, but of course, as the low pressure coming in from the Atlantic, it will be bringing outbreaks of rain with it as well. So by Monday, gradually starting to turn milder, but also wetter out across the western side of the country. That's how the GFS 6Z is looking. Again, high pressure sitting to the north of Scotland, blocking things out and bringing wind in from an east to northeast direction. Will be dry but cool as we come to the end of this week. These dry, cool conditions continue into the weekend as well. Still lots of northern blocking on Sunday to our north. Wind still generally coming in from an east to northeasterly direction. Now next week, there's a little bit of a change with this GFS 6Z run because this low pressure is struggling. So this is the low pressure that we're looking to bring milder and wetter weather in from off the Atlantic. But on Monday next week, it's the blocking area of high pressure. It's actually becoming reinforced for the early part of next week on this 6Z run. It's blocking area of high pressure that is in the ascendancy and really is fending off this area of low pressure down here. So through to Monday, we still keep things mainly dry and keep winds from an easterly direction, so dry and cool into the early part of next week. And that's still going on into Tuesday, actually. That low pressure really struggling to move up from the southwest on this GFS 6Z run. The midnight run of the GFS moved this low pressure in much more quickly than this. So there is still uncertainty about the early part of next week and how quickly this low pressure moves in from the Atlantic. So up to Tuesday next week, the GFS 6Z is still keeping winds in from the east, still keeping things dry, or mainly dry, but quite cold. Eventually, that low pressure does get in. It gets in on Wednesday next week, which I say has been pushed back by a couple of days from the 6Z. By the 6Z compared to the midnight run. Eventually, this low pressure does get up from the southwest, brings a band of heavy rain in from the south and southwest. As that low pressure starts to advance north. Of course, if that was winter, then that would be a band of heavy snow moving in from the south and from the southwest. But as it's only the 21st of October, that is just going to be a band of heavy rain and quite a strong easterly wind with that as well. Remember, low pressure sort of sits over the country as we go through to the second half next week, so it turns very unsettled into the second half next week. Winds remain from the east across the north, though, so even up to Friday next week, Scotland looks quite cold with those winds in from the east. Further southwards, it would be turning milder, and the low pressure will bring showers, if not some longer spells of rain. Very interesting pattern, this, and it's kind of thing we would look for. If that's like 21st to 23rd of December or January, that would be the kind of thing we'd be looking for a proper dump of snow and maybe blizzards. So it's another one of those situations where we say if only it was January, February, for example. But even on Friday, still quite cold with those east winds in the north. Further south, temperatures probably coming milder, but with heavy showers and longer spells of rain. There will be a band of persistent rain with these easterly winds up in the north as well, of course. So that gets up to day 10, of course, which is 23rd of October. I forgot to mention that. Beyond that, just keep the low pressure sitting around the country, bring further showers, if not longer spells of rain as well. Then just go to the very end of this GFS run. We start to go to a more typical westerly type pattern, powering up westerlies, bringing wet, windy weather in from off the Atlantic. And this feature just here, this area of low pressure over towards Newfoundland, that's interesting because that is the remains of a tropical storm, or more likely a hurricane, moving very close to the east coast of America during the final week of October. As I say, things are a little bit quieter this week in the tropics, but it does look as though next week we'll see the Caribbean and that sort of area beginning to liven up again. That's the remains of a tropical storm or hurricane around Newfoundland there on the 29th of October 2020, telling us perhaps that this hurricane season is still got more to go. GM looks like that. So again, high pressure blocking to our north. Winds are in from the east on Friday. Dry and chilly beats. Dry, chilly conditions continue through the weekend as well. Early next week, we start bringing this low pressure up from the southwest. This turns the wind into the south quicker than what the GFS 6 was showing. So it becomes milder for the early part of next week. Rain is struggling to get in, but by Tuesday, I think it is starting to turn wet down in the southwestern part of the country. But trailing through next week, of course, if it's low pressure to really take over and bring spells of rain in from off the Atlantic. All the time, though, we keep wind from a southerly direction, so the GM looks quite mild, really, from like the early part of next week onwards, with temperatures lifting up. And then we've got the ECM WF looking like this. Again, high pressure keeps it mainly dry, but quite chilly on Friday into Saturday and Sunday. Again, high pressure dominates, wind remains from an easterly direction, so it will be mostly dry, but it will be quite cold as well. Early next week, up come those southerly winds. So yeah, the ECM really pushing up the temperature through the early part of next week as well. Say really pushing up the temperature. I mean, talking about temperature probably rising into the upper teens Celsius, which is going to be above average and higher than we've had at any point through this month so far, which of course has been quite a cold October so far. So it becomes milder through the early part of next week, possibly even warmer, but also wetter, with low pressure moving in from off the Atlantic, bringing outbreaks of rain, and turns very unsettled with the ECM. As we go through the second half next week, proper bouts of wet and windy weather piling in from off the Atlantic, but all the time again we remain from south-southwest, so it is relatively mild up to day 10. Remember, we have always been focusing on this third week of October to bring a milder spell, even way back at the beginning of the month when we was doing the month-ahead forecast and whatnot. We was always thinking about the third week of October being milder, and then the last week of October possibly pulling down a northerly wind. There's no sign of a northerly wind in the last week of October at this point, but it's still early. It's only the 13th of October, so let's wait and see whether that northerly comes off in the final days of this month. The rainfall forecast, based on that ECM run from tomatio.com, looks like that. So, showery bursts of rain rolling around the country today. Still some showers left in the east tomorrow. Then we go mainly dry through Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend as well. Should be a lot of dry weather around during the end of the week and into the weekend. Early next week, the rain starting to get in initially, mainly in the west through the early part of next week, but eventually we start turning wet across all parts of the country, particularly so in the west, but some of this wet weather will get through to the eastern side of the country as we get to days 7, 8, 9, 10 and beyond. This is the rainfall forecast based on the ECM run from tameteo.com. These are the options on the table within the. We've just looked at the rainfall forecast from Tameteo, haven't we? No, these are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles for day 10 via the Icelandic Met Office. This is going to get us to the 23rd of October. We have 32 members of the ECM ensembles, including the control and the operational run as well, that have above average heights to our north. Blocking is still there, but below average heights are to the west and southwest. And so despite the blocking, we're going on to the mild side of the jet and the flow, and we're drawing up the air from the south. So turning milder and wetter, essentially up to day 10, 23rd of October, with those 32 members. And then 19 members of ECM ensembles are even more unsettled. They have low pressure right over top of the country. Much less in way of northern blocking, but interestingly, this will probably be the coolest option because despite the fact that northern blocking is reduced, we are actually on the cool side of the jet stream just about with that one. So this is a trough. This trough low pressure has quite cool air within it. So that would actually be the coolest option, the 19 that we've got there. But 32 here aren't as unsettled, I don't think, but they are milder as the wind is being drawn up from the south. It does include the operational run, and that's the majority option in the ECM ensembles. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This gets us to the 28th of October. Have 23 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to our north, high pressure to our south, winds are in from the west. That just looks classically westerly, really, and very typical for late for late October. 14 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to our west-southwest, high pressure to our northeast. Winds are probably doing something like that. That should be quite mild, I would have thought, but rather unsettled. And then 14, again, low pressure right at the top of the country, and we're on the cool side of the jet stream with that one almost bringing in like a northwesterly to northerly flow. So 14 that we've got there, the coolest option, possibly hinting at that colder northerly outbreak, but we're looking to in like the final week of the month to occur at some point through the final week of the month. It's close to doing that, but that's a minority option, of course. Only 14 members of the ECM ensembles are doing that. Right, so let's just have a look at CFSB2 then. So, as I say, it's updated today. These weeklies hadn't updated yesterday, but have updated today. These are 500 millibar heights broken out into week periods. The first week period takes us from the 13th to the 19th of October. The coming week, let's change the colour, has high pressure blocking to our north and northwest. Lots and lots of blocking to the north and northwest of the country, extending right way back in the top of the Arctic, interestingly. Low pressure is across the north and west of Europe. Winds are in from the east. So going to be quite a bit of dry weather. Eventually we may start to pull up some rain into the south to get through to the early part of next week, but generally for the weekend a lot of dry weather to come, and quite cold with winds in from the east, particularly so at night where skies are clear. Changes for week 2. This is the 20th to 26th of October, so still northern blocking, it's still there, the above average heights in the northern latitudes, but we've got this low pressure developing out to our west-southwest, and so despite the blocking, that turns of winds into the south, draws up milder air from the south, but of course the low pressure from off the Atlantic will bring outbreaks of rain as well. What happens to get through to week 3? Well, that unsettled weather doesn't last all that long. This is 24th of October to 2nd of November. Above average heights then to our south, building northwards and connecting up towards high pressure like within the northern latitudes. So just a wall of high pressure developing really across western parts of Europe. Low pressure being pushed back out into the Atlantic, jet stream going like that. It's probably very mild. This could be a very mild start to November. You know, it could be talking about temperatures into the mid to upper teens Celsius with that even, as winds are light from the south to southwest. So it could be a very mild start to November, but turning drier as well. And then we go through to week 4, which is going to be the 3rd to the 9th of November. High pressure's on the move again. This time it's moving sort of west-northwestwards. So perhaps a few hints of a little bit of retrogression there with the high pressure, particularly focused south of Greenland. Trough of low pressure is beginning to drop through Scandinavia, and that probably starts to bring down cooler, or certainly sort of colder, but certainly cooler air from the north to northwest could be starting to move in with that. But we are on the periphery of any cold. It would be genuinely cold for Scandinavia and northeastern Europe, by the way, wind properly in from the north. For us, we're just on the periphery of that, but definitely this high pressure is on the move, and it seems to be going in that sort of direction, going from east to west, which is, we term that as retrogression, which is going against the zonal flow, which of course zonal flow is west to east. So quite interesting by the time we get through to week 4. These are our temperature anomalies. Week 1, 13th, 19th of October, is cooler than average, a cold week to come, particularly so through many central parts of Europe in those blue colours, that taking temperatures down to 3 degrees or more below average. But look at this big change in week 2. Big change. This is 20th to 26th of October. Much milder then. Above average temperatures. Wow. What a switch around that is from week 1 to week 2. Above average temperatures appearing in week 2. America, by the way, looks... so America's quite chilly in week 1. But look how cold it goes in America in week 2. So it looks as though it's one of those situations where as the eastern part of America gets colder, the western side of Europe gets warmer, gets milder. Week 3 temperature is also significantly milder than averages. Could be a very mild end to October, beginning to November, with those winds in from the south, but of course it will be turning drier as well. And then week 4 is also scheduled to, or forecast to 3rd to 9th of November, also forecast to be sort of above average, but not as warm. So there is that idea that temperatures beginning to come down a little bit there as we get through to week 4. However, overall model is still forecasting above average temperatures. All very interesting and rather different what the CFS was showing just a few days ago. So uncertainty abounds. Right, that's it then. So that's it for your videos for today. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, then please give us a thumbs up, click like on the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to tell friends about GavsWeatherVids. We need to put on another 10 subscribers, only another 10 more to get to 6,700. No, 7,700 subscribers. 10 more will get us to 7,700 subscribers, and that leaves us just with 300 to go to get to 8k subs. When we get to 8k subs, we are going to be giving away a £30 Amazon voucher in a live stream. So we're getting ever closer to 8,000 subscribers, and hopefully we will do it within the next month or two. But yeah, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet done so. Make sure you like the videos, and tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids as well. Let us know in the comments what you think. Now, tomorrow we've got the USA forecast coming up. Do a once a week USA forecast. So that will be released tomorrow. And then from 6 o'clock we'll be live streaming, contains 14-day video update. So everything that you have seen in this video will be included in the live stream. The only difference is that rather than being an upload, it'll be a live stream. So I shall see you live at 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. But before then, of course, we're going to have the USA forecast. Right, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.